Did you know that each of us has an empty bucket above our heads, an invisible empty bucket? When our bucket is full, we feel great. And when our bucket is empty, we feel awful. And most people, kids and grown-ups alike, don't even realize how important it is to have a full bucket. And the book I'm going to read to you in just a few minutes is going to explain to you what this invisible bucket is all about. Now, before I get started, I want to take a look at our new vocabulary words this week. All right, our first word is slumped. Take a look at the man we have right here in this chair. He's slumping down in his chair. Can you do that? Ugh. And when you're slumped, I know, see how much lower I got, and I just kind of look bummed. Whenever you're slumping, you may look a little sad, like this man right here. Scolded. And take a look at this mom, or maybe it's a teacher and a little boy. He spilled some juice on his shirt and all over the floor, and this mom is maybe getting on to him, or maybe trying to maybe he's in trouble for it, and the mom or the teacher is just scolding him. Scolding means that you're in trouble for something. Scattered. Have you ever had things scattered all over your floor, like this person right here? They have stuff scattered all over the floor. Scattered just means that like it's a big mess. Nothing is in its place or organized. Invisible. Check out this invisible man. You can't see his face. Some of you said that for your superpower 2 weeks ago that you would love to be invisible like me. Invisible means I can't see it. Just like I just said, that invisible bucket that we have over our heads. Can't see it. And then our last vocabulary word, scowl. Take a look at the face right here on this little boy. He's going, when someone scowls, they're making like that mad face. So scowled, like a mad face. I want you to be taking a look at the words in my book as I hold it up, and be thinking in your head about those vocabulary words. And if you hear one, I want you to give me a thumbs up. All right, the book I'm going to come to you with today is called How Full Is Your Bucket? And this is for kids. Let's think about the genre of this book. Now, remember, genre, it can be fiction or nonfiction. And in this one, I can tell that this is a drawing or a painting on the front of my book. And the pictures inside look like drawings or paintings. I'm going to say that this is a fiction book, but I think it's going to teach us a lesson. So I wonder if this could be realistic fiction, like it could happen in real life. So how full is your bucket? And it's written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer, and it's illustrated by Mari J. Manning. Now remember, this is the title page. Okay, I'll turn my chair a little bit so you can see me. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to help build with you, she said. Felix scowled. There's one of those words. Go away, you're too little. It wasn't very nice, was it? Look at the face on Felix. He scowled at his sister. I'm big. Stay back, you'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Look what she's thinking inside of her head. She said, this is Felix. Thwack! What happened? He wasn't very nice to her. She got angry. She was thinking about being angry with him, and then look, she knocks his blocks over. Grandpa! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. This face that Felix is making, it looks like he's pretty confused. And look, Grandpa's having to console Anna because she's upset. I wonder what Grandpa means by Felix dipped from Anna's bucket. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. Take a look. Now we know that it's invisible, but he's pretending he can see that bucket. And look, what's inside the bucket? Looks like water, doesn't it? When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning. It's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Does this look like some of the mornings at your house? I know I've had to rush before. Look, Felix is up here trying to get cereal, making a mess. Mom's trying to brush sister's hair. It's chaos. Felix slipped, and choco wheat scattered across the floor. There's one of those words, scattered. Oh no! Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible, there's another one of those words, drips spill out. Plop, drip, drip. Ha ha! Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded Mom. Another word. Look at Mom. She's had it. She's frustrated. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, take a look whenever he's trying to pick this up. Sister's laughing at him. Mom is scolding him. There's drips coming out of his bucket. Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Another drop out of his bucket. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. These boys on the bus are making fun of Felix's book bag, and that look at his face makes him feel even worse. Psst, 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 Felix, psst, psst. They're whispering about him in school. Drip. Watch out, shrimp. Drip. Take a look at his bucket. The bucket, the invisible bucket above his head, every time something not so good happens to him, when the kids are whispering behind his back, whenever the boy right here is being ugly and pushing him and calling him shrimp, little drops are dripping out of his bucket. It was still morning, but Felix's bucket felt almost empty. Take a look at his face. Ooh. He doesn't look very happy. And look, that bucket looks a lot different than it did this morning. It's starting to become empty. All of these bad things keep happening to our character. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's not very nice. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Whenever your bucket, that invisible bucket above your head, is getting empty, you start thinking bad things, or start thinking you wish that bad things would happen to other people. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. Whoa, take a look at this. Now, the mood's changing a little bit. His teacher gave him a compliment. She said, wow, your story was so wonderful. Read it to the class. It made Felix smile. And instead of a drop dripping out of his bucket, he gets a drop in his bucket. Oh, my goodness, this word is long. The Gigantosaurus Who Wanted a Pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Take a look. He felt so good whenever all of his classmates were clapping for him and was loving his story, and they laughed at the funny parts. Look, plink, drop, plop, drop. All of the drops, the good drops, were going into his invisible bucket. Look, he's eating lunch with a friend. He got a nice I love you note from Mom. Drop another drop in his bucket. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Look, the gym coach gave him a team captain position to play. Drop another drop in that bucket. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. So every time he gets a nice compliment or someone is nice to him, there goes that drop. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Another drop. What do you notice about his bucket? It's becoming full. And look, he got another compliment on that book bag. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too above their head. But take a look. I want you to notice some of the buckets around the playground. Here's Felix. His is full. These kids have pretty full buckets. But take a look at this little boy sitting on the steps all by himself. He looks kind of lonely. What do you notice about his bucket? It's a little empty. And look, this man right here, even the grown-up, he dropped all of his papers. Look, not having a good day. His bucket's a little empty. These kids have pretty full buckets that are playing with their friends. This boy right here, he's missing the ball. His bucket's a little empty. So maybe these kids need a few drops in their bucket. Let me help you. Drop, drop. So when he helped the adult pick up the papers that he dropped, he got a drop in his bucket because it feels good to help others. And look, the grown-up right here gets a drop in his bucket because someone helped him. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Look, he got another drop for being helpful because it made him feel good. And this boy got his ball back. So he got another drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Look, the lonely little boy that was sitting down all by himself. He feels good, so he gets another drop. And then this boy gets a drop too because he's not lonely anymore. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. Just like I just told you, every time he did something good for somebody else, so every time he helped, he got a drop in his bucket, and that person got a drop in theirs. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa, I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." And here's Sister. Whee! Look at Anna's bucket. It's almost empty because her doll broke or ripped. Look, Grandpa, he's helping out. And look at the dog with the ripped arm. He got a bucket too. So we can think about that whenever we're talking to animals too. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks? And so they did. Now take a look at Anna's bucket. She gets a drop for helping Felix, and Felix gets a drop for being nice to his sister. This has become one of my favorite stories to read to my boys and girls because it is realistic fiction. Yes, this story is fiction. It's a made-up story, but it could also, the things that happen in our story could happen in real life. And I want you to think about that as you go about your day, not just today, but every day. Grown-ups, other kids, your parents, brothers and sisters, even your pets. We all have invisible buckets that we carry around. Are you filling people's buckets or others' buckets, or are you taking and dipping from their buckets? Remember, whenever you use your words, are they helpful words or are they harmful, hurtful words? We have to be careful about what we say and do to others because Like in this story, you could be dipping from someone else's bucket. I try to only say things that are helpful to people. And if I ever feel like I'm about to say something harmful or hurtful to someone or something that may hurt their feelings, I also think about that golden rule. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. So think about that as you go about your day every single day. Be a bucket feeler, guys.